any expectations for witnesses you want to invite, or is that premature because you don't want to disclose that till the decision you make?
Yeah, it's premature to be talking about that at this point.
His food insecurity appeared to be very selective. I found that interesting, but this is sort of in line with a lot of the testimony, the feelings-based testimony we've seen from these 8 Crown witnesses.
Robert Krajcik here in Ottawa, Ontario, reporting for Rebel News on the 18th day of the trial of Chris Barber and Tamara Lich. Both co-defendants are being charged with a series of crimes linked with their roles as organizers with the Freedom Convoy. If you folks have been keeping up with our reports and you appreciate them, you value them, stay up to date. Please visit tamaratrial.com. The entire day's proceedings were dedicated to dealings with the latest witness for the prosecution. His name is Paul Jorgenson. He's an Ottawa resident. He lives here in downtown, right at the heart of where the Freedom Convoy was located. He's a government worker. He also referred to the demonstration as an occupation on more than one occasion. He said he cried. It's a direct quote. He and his partner cried as a function of the distress that he claims they both suffered, how distraught they were over the incessant honking, the noise that affected them and compromised their abilities to sleep and concentrate in their apartments. Jorgenson also said he experienced food insecurity. That's another direct quote, because the store that he would regularly buy his groceries from was closed. Jorgenson testified that he has a low tolerance for intimidation when he was describing his own sensitivity to the abuse he says he endured at the hands of Freedom Convoy demonstrators. He said, quote, "I have a history of being bullied." One last quote from Jorgenson: "I saw myself as a victim of these demonstrations." Jorgenson also testified that he had been intimidated and harassed. He used the words accosted and harassed by Freedom Convoy demonstrators that he presumes targeted him because he wore a mask while walking outside.
Come on out November 25th. It's all aboard the Freedom Train in Niagara-on-the-Lake. You can check Rebel News for updates and also the Freedom Passport site.
Tamara Lich, who led the Truckers Convoy, will be sharing the stage with some of the finest international recording artists, like the Chops Horns from New York City, who's played with Alicia Keys, Stevie Wonder, the Rolling Stones, and many more. Plus New World Sun, just off a European tour, and the legendary R&B master, Leroy Emanuel. Get on the Freedom Train with Tamara Lich. Saturday, November 25th at Niagara-on-the-Lake Central Community Center, 680 York Road. Get your tickets today at freedompassport.ca. The Freedom Train is coming. Know your rights, know your freedoms.
Now, the most important part of the testimony, the most newsworthy and interesting thing that jumped out at me that I want to share with you all in the audience, is that he partook in a counter demonstration in which he and other Ottawa residents who were hostile or opposed to the Freedom Convoy engaged in their own act of civil disobedience in obstructing traffic flowing towards downtown. Their hopes were to reduce the volume of motorists and participants joining the Freedom Convoy. When he reflected on his participation in this counter demonstration, he said that it was something meaningful. He said that it allowed him to commune with other people who were experiencing hardships like he was, to share stories of harassment and being accosted. It very much reflected a lot of the remarks I've received from people who participated in the Freedom Convoy itself, except this guy's on the other side of the aisle, so to speak.
Yeah, he said he was food insecure. And then in cross-examination, defense put to him, well, there was this market open, there was these several supermarkets available. Did you go to these supermarkets? You know, one was, he said, was too far. It was in the Glebe, which was strange that he said it was too far because this is an area that he admitted to frequenting. The other one was JJ Market, which was right around the corner, as I understand, from where he lived.
Yeah.
He said that he would not go to JJ Market because the protesters frequented JJ Market. So his food insecurity appeared to be very selective. I found that interesting. But this is sort of in line with a lot of the testimony, the feelings-based testimony we've seen from these 8 Crown witnesses.
You made a comment about how you may be able to invite Ottawans who had benefited from the Freedom Convoy as a sort of counterweight to a series of witnesses, which at that time we were expecting were going to testify to harms they befell. Were you serious about that? Is that something you'd ever want to do?
It's certainly something that we have to contemplate is the possibility. I wouldn't put it anything more than that.
Dear Rebel News audience, we love doing these reports for you. If you appreciate them, value them, and want them to continue, please understand we need your financial support. Please contribute to our operational costs at tamaratrial.com and go there to stay up to date with our ongoing reports.